The next topic regards the Healing Heart Ministry of the Women and Families Department of the Church of Christ in Congo, the ECC. Many of us have connections to the topics covered during these CMN meetings. I connected with this project in 2016. At that time, I was part of a listening and learning trip to Eastern Congo. We focused on the efforts of the women of the ECC as they helped victims of sexual violence. The perpetrators used these acts as weapons of war and intimidation. The ECC Women's Group is comprised of Protestant women. In this case, they were working together to assist the victims and help them through a trauma healing program. Before my trip, I was aware of these acts of war and intimidation. For years, I volunteered with resettling Eastern Congo refugees in Greensboro, North Carolina. Helping these women fill in documents, it often required finding out their marital status and parentage of minor children. All too often, I would find that the widows had 1 or 2 children as a result of these violent attacks. Some older children had witnessed these acts upon their mothers, as well as the killing of family members. I thought I knew about this topic. I was wrong. Once in Goma, our small group met with hundreds of survivors and heard some tell about their experiences. Some would testify before large groups, while others felt comfortable in quiet rooms with only 1 or 2 of us to listen. The sheer number of women and children who suffered was staggering. The youngest we met was 11, and the elderly didn't escape the violence either. There seemed to be no limit to the atrocities. The victims have shown incredible resilience, but husbands and communities often shame them, so they must start their lives all over. We saw that the ECC Women's Department were providing good programming to help these women heal. They understood the need for them to receive appropriate counseling. Shortly after returning to the U.S., our group held teleconferences to develop a plan to advocate, educate, and take action. We saw that while the ECC women had developed programs for adults, the children who were victims did not have access to this valuable lifeline. One of the results of these conversations was to find a way to financially support the ECC women with their request to have training for 30 facilitators to work with children using a Healing Hearts trauma healing program. These facilitators would be implementing Healing Hearts programming with children in the North Kivu and Ituri communities. Healing Hearts is a program of the American Bible Society. They worked with Debbie Braxma, then the Presbyterian World Mission Africa Coordinator, to develop and translate a curriculum for children. While planning for today's program, we had hoped to have representatives from ABS speak to you about their work here in the U.S. Unfortunately, they could not fit us into their calendar. As we have all switched to virtual meetings, so has ABS. Moving to a virtual setting has allowed them to become more agile and are now able to respond to a tremendous increased demand for their programs over the past year. They train trainers and facilitators across the USA to help churches serve others. We are thankful that their Bible-based program is available as we in the USA deal with increased racial tension, gun violence, human trafficking, and additional stresses brought on by the response to the pandemic. The fact that more people are seeking aid to help them deal with trauma is a wonderful first step to Healing Hearts. You will hear from Herb Long of Lafayette Orinda Presbyterian Church in California about how members of his church were called to act to improve the lives of children in the DRC. First, we will hear a quick review of the ECC Healing Hearts Ministry in Congo by Christy Boyd, PCA USA Facilitator for Women and Children's Interests in Africa, based in Kinshasa, Congo. Following Christy, we'll watch a video and then hear from her. Christy, I pass the program on to you.